Rockaway soccer coverage continues here on the Varsity Media Sports Network as two of the top teams in Nassau County lock horns as the Carle Place Frogs take on the Lynbrook Owls on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Today's game is brought to you by Lynbrook East Rockaway Soccer Club as well as the Ronald McDonald House. And a pleasant good evening, everybody. Alongside Rob Anderson, I'm John Perez. And Rob, let's I'll take care of it over here, all right? We'll get ready to go. A good matchup here as well. Carle Place, many people are saying that they're one of the top teams on all of Long Island, and the people from Lynbrook saying, hey, we want to be in that conversation as well.
Absolutely. I mean, Carle Place, repeatedly a pretty dominant team. For a B school, considered one of the best on Long Island, can match up against anybody. Coach Berlin has his troops fired up. They did meet earlier in the season, Carle Place being the victor. But they come here today on a day that's a charity event here at Marion Street. So it's a big day for Lynbrook. Two teams that are going to battle hard today and try to avoid injury in this sloppy weather.
Yeah, 100%. Two 35-minute halves, and we'll see if this game actually goes to completions. The lights have not been approved by PSEG, so we'll see if we get the 70 minutes to compete. But either way, let's meet the impact players for Carle Place as they come in at 8-2-1. 5-2-1 overall. Ryan Leary does it all as well as Jason Pereira.
Yeah, you got Ryan Leary, big boy out there, son of Coach Pat Leary. Big throw-ins. 5 goals, 12 assists, but you got to see the throw-in. Jason Pereira, one of those guys, dynamic, sees the field well, plays to space, also could bang in a few goals and has 3 of them on the season thus far.
Should be a lot of fun to watch. The starting 11 for the Frogs, looking for their 9th win of the year. Tyrone's in net, Babino, McCarthy, Mahalakis, Nunez, and Mahalakis again. Villegas, Acquista, Costa, Leary, and Pereira. And, of course, in net is Anthony Tyrone, and someone who could be a brick wall.
Yeah, Tyrone is a brick wall. He's got 23 saves on the season. Agile, physical, comes out and plays the ball. Not one you want to bang up with if you're a striker.
All right, so that's Carle Place. Let's get to Lynbrook and their impact players, Marco Pantano as well as Edward Stradowski.
Yeah, I played against these boys earlier in the season. Pantano, a great vision on the field. He's tough. He's aggressive. He's very fast. Stradowski, a skilled player. He's got 1 goal, 1 assist on the season. Both of them can move the ball well, communicate well, and are a force for this Lynbrook team.
Josh Berlin in his 24th season sending out this starting 11 for the Owls. Prince, of course, there. Valencia, Ryan, Byrne, Pantano, McNella, Stradowski, Werzinger, Gonzalez, Reed, and Najera. And we mentioned, of course, Jake Prince, the keeper, 47 saves on the year.
Yeah, 2-year starter on this team, all-county honorable mention. He is tall. He moves really well for a big guy. Extremely difficult to score on, has a giant wingspan. Good luck trying to get anything past him.
Well, if either of these teams are going to pick up the victory here today, Rob, what do they have to do? Our keys to the game brought to you by Haviland Kitchen and Bar.
For Carle Place, it's just going to be like, don't force your shots. Try to find some space and create it. Let the game come to them. Defend as a unit, which Coach Reardon has prided himself on for a while. And for Lynbrook, just get out early and try to make a statement offensively.
It's the Owls, it's the Frogs. First touch coming up next on the Varsity Media Sports Network. The latest Varsity Media updates, including our game schedules, be sure to follow us on social media at Varsity Media, the home for New York high school sports. Are you a local business looking for new and creative ways to promote your company? Varsity Media offers affordable rates that can get your message across to a demographic of 18 to 54 years of age. Our follower base across social media is over 50,000 strong, and our viewership numbers per game are in the thousands. Don't blow your advertising budget on old staples like TV and radio media. Reach out to Varsity Media to get the best bang for your buck.
When it comes to live streaming, Varsity Media does it all. Athletic events, concerts, musicals, graduations, even weddings. Trust Varsity Media when it comes to your live stream event. Contact us today to learn more about Varsity Media's live streaming services at 516-403-2050 or email ben@varsitymedia.net.
And we welcome you back to Lynbrook, it is Lynbrook and Carle Place. And, of course, this game brought to you by Ivy Rehab. Live life to the fullest. Your goals are our goals at Ivy Rehab. Whether you're a parent wanting to help your child find their footing, an athlete reaching new heights, or an adult facing unique challenges, our physical, occupational, speech, and applied behavioral analysis therapists can help everyone live their life to the fullest. We'll put in the work to meet you where you are and where you want to go. Request an appointment now at ivyrehab.com or call any of our locations nearest to you.
And we take a look at the center of field there. We've got referee Randy Geyer in the black hat and referee Patricia Thewell. Coaches and captains are up there. And, John, we can't say enough about the fact that Coach Berlin puts together this day every year for a fantastic cause, the Ronald McDonald House.
Yeah, and, of course, Ronald McDonald House, like we mentioned, but we'll give him the pop now as well. Ronald McDonald House Charities New York Metro provides essential services that remove barriers, strengthen families, and promote healing when children need health care. RMHC New York Metro provides support for families with sick or injured children through the operation of the Ronald McDonald House in New Hyde Park and 2 Ronald McDonald Family Rooms at Stony Brook's Children's Hospital. In all, RMHC New York Metro serves over 7,000 sick families every year by providing them with no-cost housing, meals, laundry, and 24/7 care in collaboration with our partnering hospitals, Cohen Children's Medical Center and Stony Brook Children's Hospital. For more information about RMHC New York Metro programs or on becoming a donor or volunteer, please visit rmhcnym.org.
And this one hits very close to home for Lynbrook. It's Karen and Frank Vigiano, the families that have been the benefactors of what the Ronald McDonald House does. Their sons Anthony and Frankie are serving as honorary captains today. That's who we saw out in the middle of the field. Karen, 15 years as a social worker in the Lynbrook schools, and Dad Frank, a PE teacher over in the Hewlett School District. And at halftime, we'll see a video about that family and the impact that the Ronald McDonald House has had on them.
Yeah, once again, visit rmhcnym.org to either become a donor or a volunteer today.
So we don't need to tell anybody on Long Island. Sloppy day, and now the wind's kicking up a gale. Looks like the rain is going to start settling down, but it's getting cooler. We're up against the lights, 35-minute halves if we can get them both in on this Saturday here at Marion Street, Lynbrook.
And, Rob, what do you take out of this game for either one of these squads? Of course, Carle Place with a fantastic 2-1 victory over Manhasset early on. They've played some of the top teams on Long Island. And for Lynbrook, just trying to get closer to 500. They're 3-5-0.
Yeah, I think for Lynbrook, this is one of those games that's a morale game. You want to get your guys going. You want to keep the energy going. Coach Berlin wants to get these Owls into the playoffs, and this is the kind of team you're going to face in the playoffs. So it's a chance to get them moving. For Coach Reardon, I'll be honest with you, it's one of those days where you're going to get your starters out there, get them some work, but you don't want any injuries happening today in a non-league game. They're on cruise control right now. A little bit of a bumpy start, but really righted the ship. And stay healthy, I think, is the goal of this Carle Place Frog team.
Yeah, 8-2-1, and we mentioned Ryan Leary and Jason Pereira, but they've had multiple heroes as well, as there is Nico Rodriguez getting on top defensively and now sent down the field.
A lot of back and forth so far. Both teams playing strong, coming out quick. And our first free kick is going to go to Carle Place. And, of course, it's going to be the big man out there. Jason Pereira taking the kick. He's got a big boot. Oh, he's walking off. Never mind.
Yeah, off the quick restart. Chip near side. Matt Babino gets it over towards Jason Pereira. Captain, 3-year varsity player and 3-year starter. Returning all-county and all-state selection. Yeah. And a throw in for Lynbrook. That's Mike Wersinger.
And it was that kick, just giving Pereira a couple extra yards to try to get that boot down, but Lynbrook reading it well and all over it. Pereira, nice touch to the middle. And that's Stratos Mahalakis getting taken down. We talked about his sister in the other game. Stratos, a 3-year player, one of the goal scorers on this team. Controls that midfield.
Yeah, 2 Mehalakises on the roster as we take a look. Evan and you see Stratos on screen.
And it was his sister Alexia playing on the girls' team. So it's a soccer family there.
Pereira, 3 goals, 3 assists, sends it all the way to the cage, and an easy pick for Jake Prince. 2023 All-County Honorable Mention, 3-4 this season, second-year starter. Wersinger slides it. And Carle Place able to clear and trudge up ahead. Joey Acquista trying to get some space. Lynbrook collapsing in. Dished off. And Pereira goes wide.
Acquista showing off that footwork really early. Gets it stripped away there, but taking advantage at first of that Lynbrook defense collision. And now here comes Lynbrook back the other way.
Nick McNella trying the cross. Toe taps and tries to send and blocked. And our first corner kick of the early evening.
You see Jose Yapan Gonzalez, the midfielder sophomore, really buzzing out there for the Lynbrook team. He's one of the transfer students on this team. He's got 3 goals and 2 assists on the season. And he's learning that high school ball is pretty physical. He's got to make quick decisions. But, John, so far his decision-making good, getting into space. And it's going to be him taking that corner kick.
You know, easy communicator as well. When he came over to Lynbrook, he told his head coach, Josh Berlin, I score goals. Sent all the way in, the header, there's a goal, a golazo. As it goes all the way in, Marco Pantano puts Lynbrook in front.
Pantano perfectly positioned for that ball, and you know the Carle Place defense wish they got a body on him. Play it short, and just watch better angle here. Sent in deep by Ryan. And off the head of Pantano, and a beautiful goal over the head of the keeper.
Talk about establishing yourself early on. Pantano picking up his 4th goal of the season. And what a journey it's been for Pantano. Someone who continues to dazzle for the coaches. Last year was coming off the bench, was a role player, now thrown into the starting 11 and really paying off.
And just a nifty play all around there to get that ball back to Devin Ryan on defense to send that ball in. Devin just a junior, and his coach said he wants to see him be a better defender. What a nice way to get that ball down in there.
Pantano over to Najera, and then ranging over Mehalakis. So Stratos wearing 23, Evan wearing 19. If you've got your Mahalakis bingo card.
Lynbrook's all set, and here's a kick.
Edward Stradowski, the captain, sends it through everybody. And out of play, goal kick upcoming. And Brian Tyrone to boot it away.
And one of the players I'm going to keep an eye on is that Steven Najera out there. He's wearing number 25. We mentioned his name already. He's actually a transfer from across the Ocean Parkway. He was one of mine last year. And now he's a starter at Lynbrook. Not fun to watch for me.
Shouldn't have let him out the building. There's Wersinger. Towards the net, off the post. With a slick track. I think Tyrone thought it was going to go wide and then realized it was closer to the net. And thankfully got knocked aside by a keeper's best friend, the post.
Yeah, and Wersinger making a quick decision to use that left foot and just get the ball on net instead of trying to pull it back. So good job there.
Devin Ryan skis it forward.
So John Battle, 2 veteran coaches out there. Josh Berlin of Lynbrook, the one that is responsible for putting this whole event together today, and then Coach Connor Reardon, also the girls basketball coach over at Carle Place. And to his left, assistant coach Pat Leary, who is also the president of the Nassau County Soccer Organization.
Well, we have the entire Brain Trust in the facility here today. Of course, Al Freeman will be joining us at the half in the second half.
Coach Berlin also on the board. He runs the website.
Of course, you're the public advocate, so.
Yeah, a few of us that love soccer and getting involved and making these games happen on Varsity Media Network this year. Catch the playoffs, got a few games left in the regular season, and everything wraps up October 17th, and then it's off to the playoffs.
Yeah, which should be a lot of fun this year, and we'll see who wins the title. Carle Place wants to be one of those teams that's going to be featured not just in Nassau County, but all of Long Island. Quick throw-in. And Pantano.
We talked about it in the girls' game. Even that throw-in looked like it slipped off his fingertips. Again, it's a slick ball out there. It's a slick turf. So you'll see that with the throws. And we also did mention during the girls' game it would be wise to attack the keeper as often as possible. Don't assume anything on a rainy day.
Well, you know what happens when you assume.
I do. I do it often.
Down the near side, just out of the reach of Carle Place, and throwing for the Frogs.
Yeah, Thomas Dunn there with a nice clean slide tackle, getting all ball on that. Referee Thewell right in position to see it, and Carle Place didn't argue. And here's the big throw in, the hop and drop.
Gets all the way in, but first touch from Lynbrook. Leary goes far post in the direction of his teammate Mehalakis, but Mehalakis couldn't head it in.
And then almost on the head of Nico Rodriguez as we take another look. Look at the hop, drop, and it goes in. Bounces back out right to Leary. Look at this soft touch. Boom, right back in. Gets past both, and it was Rodriguez just missing it. They call him DJ Nico. He's got 3 goals on the season. And when he's not playing soccer, he's DJing and bowling. That's not bad, huh?
At the same place?
That would be very cool. I mean, honestly, he plays baseball also, and I don't want to take that away, but the bowling and DJing kind of works together.
Well, and, you know, he could do the old radio trick of when it's his turn to bowl, you just put on, you know, Hotel California or one of those long songs and could play a few frames.
Yeah, look at you, Big Lebowski over here.
Just saying. But DJ Nico's already has it figured out.
He does.
There you see him in the middle of the screen coming off.
And there's big Ryan Leary. Another giant throw down the line. You know, Ryan's game is very solid. It's full. He's fast. He's big. The throwing is what gets everybody. I mean, that's what they talk about with this kid. He's an all-state soccer player multiple times. He's a junior. He might be a 4-time all-state if he stays healthy, and that is insane for any athlete.
We'll see what happens in his soccer career if he plays to the next level. Goes off the crossbar, still in play. There's a long boot on the far side. How about Edward Stradowski? Now back the other way. Carle Place, a chip, and a goal. What a finish. Ryan Leary gets down the field and finds the equalizer.
Just talking about him, and look at how quick that transition was from bouncing off the crossbar and back the other way. And look at how they move this ball. It's tremendous. Really quick pass up there by Acquista. And it gets long ball down to Ryan Leary, who was onside on the kick. A soft touch with the left. Bangs it in with the right. Makes it look easy. That's why he's an all-state player.
6th goal of the season. And what a fantastic finish.
And I'll tell you, the thing that makes me want to kind of puke is his sport that he wants to play continuing is basketball. And we're all begging him to stay on the soccer field. He's so fun to watch. But a phenomenal athlete in both sports.
Well, and it's got to be tough, especially when he scores goals like that. And he's like, yeah, this isn't even my favorite sport or my number one sport.
Like your mom was a star basketball player. Dad involved in soccer as whole, you know. So I mean, he's torn, I guess.
Well, listen, 3 sisters playing for playing basketball as well. I think it's just a basketball household. But you're right. Hey, and you know what? There are some programs at the next level that will have multi-sport athletes. Not uncommon. Home run ball again. Down the field. How about Leary? Like he was shot out of a cannon, came out of nowhere to try and make a play, and Lynbrook able to clear.
And I like how Acquista ran with him and then pulled up just looking to create some space. Good job there.
Mehalakis. And Prince scoops it up. Prince last year leading the Owls to the postseason. One of the top keepers in the conference. Came into today's game with 47 saves.
We got a lot of action out of the gate, huh, John? 1-1. A little over 10 minutes in the game. And it's pretty fast-paced, transition game, really good. But I can't say enough about that Leary goal, just the transition, how quick they were getting that ball off of a sweet shot by Sherdowski and then up the field, 2 touches to Leary and in the net.
No handball called. And then shuffled down. Leary not able to scoop up. Devin Byrne sends it up ahead. Byrne, the transfer from Catholic school last year, 1 goal and an assist on the season. Looking for a second season of solid defensive play for Lynbrook this year.
Yeah, one of the guys that makes a difference on the set plays also. He's got some size out there. Couple goals on the season. And here's Leary going to take the throw. And this thing is as good as a corner kick from that type of position. Maybe better. He's got probably more control with his hands than he does his foot. The hop.
Hop Tua. Long throw into the box, chipped around. And corner upcoming.
There it is right there.
The corner kick, yeah.
Just
and a quick insing upcoming as Jason Pereira gets ready to go and try and put Carle Place in front 2-1.
plays it short.
How about that? Prince through a
top.
slew of traffic. Rob, how difficult is that for a keeper, especially in Prince? Throw the weather out the window. Just a ton of traffic in front of him, too.
Yeah, putting it on the ground is an interesting choice because I don't know that the Carle Place offense recognized it right there. But you got to get on top of his keeper, and you saw he just threw his entire body on top of the ball, make sure it didn't shake loose. You go just hands, and you could have a little bit of an issue down there. But that's what he does. He's a great goalkeeper. And just a junior. So Lynbrook's got him for another year, another season after this.
It's unbelievable, and you could probably speak to this, too, when it comes to travel ball and playing for club teams. Just the talent. You know, I feel like maybe 10, 15 years ago, you just relied upon seniors and juniors so much, mostly the senior class, to be the best athletes on the field. But even seeing it in the girls' game, a couple Carle Place players, you can have freshmen and sophomores that can keep up with the overclassmen. Yeah,
without a doubt, the athletes, they're training younger and they're working at, in travel leagues and whatnot, like you said, and the experience, especially in Long Island. Soccer and lacrosse is still big Long Island sports there. It was Pantano getting shoved in the back on that play, and that sets up the direct kick for Edward Sherdowski, who had that banger before.
Well, bangs it just to the left of the post. But a slick track out there as Tyrone just willing that ball wide. And 15 minutes in the books, tied at 1. First goal of the game coming from Marco Pantano in the 4th minute. A beauty, a header into the back of the cage, and then Ryan Leary showing off why he's one of the best players in the conference. That came in the 11th minute.
And Sherdowski, the one that just took the kick, who's got that great foot, is committed to play lacrosse at Johnson in Wales. So I don't know if that means he's going to be taking the restaurant track, the chef track. Johnson in Wales, a good school for becoming a chef.
Is it a good culinary school?
Yeah.
All right.
I looked into it when I graduated. Then I thought about working weekends every night of the rest of my life, and I said, nope.
Right, so you picked sports as a way to not
work weekend?
Yeah, or nights.
Can't eat sports.
You're alone.
At least with a culinary degree, if it is a degree, you're at least coming home with dinner every night.
That's true. I still do. Just someone else is making it.
Yeah.
Big boot up the field there for Carle Place, and that Lynbrook defense just collapsing.
How about Pereira lets it rip, far side. Mehalakos with Fabian Safstein Suarez. Suarez, an occasional starter, a goal on the season, second-year varsity player, wearing number 2 for Lynbrook. Their special jerseys today in white and you were joking, Malvern colors, but of course a gift from the Ronald McDonald House.
Yeah, I had to pick on Coach Berlin there, wearing those East Rockaway Malvern colors today. Lima with that throw. Gavin Lima, one of the freshmen, like you were saying earlier, freshman getting some time out on the field. And here's Pereira.
Jason Pereira, nothing doing, and second corner kick, Carle Place.
His name is pronounced Fabian, not Fabian, okay, just for your...
On the corner. And goes through everyone.
And it's something that I talked to you about, again, in that last game, the girls' game that streamed earlier today on Varsity Media. I always like a guy long. It's high school soccer. The ball rolls out deep, straight away, or sometimes just kicks out. It's always beneficial to have a guy there. Those long kicks happen a lot, and then they're just throw-ins for the other team. Nifty moves there by Pereira.
On the counter. Wersinger weaving. Babino tried the slide tackle. Lynbrook retains possession. Pantano all the way up the field. Long run for Suarez and goes out of play.
And it's going to be a throw. Good job hitting that flag and keeping it to a throw. Wersinger, one of the guys moving the ball really well in the middle of the field, and Coach Berlin saying that he's getting more and more confident on the dribble, better at challenges, one of the, leaders out there vocally.
Headed out, and now a goal kick. Couple of substitutions as Stradowski and Wersinger come out.
Big boot there by Vito Sabella.
And there's Jake Prince. Thomas Dunn on for Lynbrook.
Just mentioning Shabilia, he has apparently a huge collection of professional soccer jerseys. Coach also says he has a great IQ for the game, so maybe osmosis, getting all those jerseys and paying attention to being a student of the game.
Certainly could be, and then at the high school level, you really don't do the jersey swaps, right?
No jersey swaps. Unless you're going to send a receipt to the opposite school.
Right. A lot of those kits are hand-me-downs.
Let me tell you, collecting them at the end of the year, not an easy job for a coach.
No, I could imagine. Dunn trying to clear. Carle Place pressuring. Carlo Prokovic, the senior, second-year varsity player.
Right now, Carle Place just stepping to the ball, just beating them to a lot of those balls. And it doesn't look like a tired Lynbrook team, but they're not moving to the ball on some of those distributions. Can't let Carle Place beat you to it, especially when you're down in your defensive zone like that. And here's Hopalong, ready to take the big throw.
Leary basically getting a 5-yard head start. Sends it all the way through. Back out, chip, and just wide. Prince didn't touch it, and a goal kick. A long shot, I believe, coming from Lucas Villegas.
We'll get another look at it here. And, yeah, it looks like it boots out to Villegas. And, yeah, it did look like he touched it, but completely not. From our angle there, it was tough. So Carle plays right now starting to establish themselves on the offensive zone a little bit. Lynbrook's going to need to spread out and try to open up the field, lengthen the field a little bit.
Leary trying to settle. Devin Ryan giving him a run for his money. Goal kick.
Yeah, another goal kick. Game tied at 1, 13 minutes remaining in the first half. And hoping to get in a full 35 on both ends in this game.
I was looking at the weather app, and it says that sundown's supposed to start at 6:40, which would be an hour and 8 minutes from now. But, I mean, the light's not turning on. It's going to be a little difficult to see. Long kick, Tyrone. Gets over Tyrone. Loose ball, looking to settle. Walk off. And Lynbrook goes in front 2-1. And a fantastic job by Jacob Walkoff, the junior. Take another look on the replay, but the Owls pull in front.
Yeah, we'll take a look here. The through ball, really well done, but then just deflected. And that high bounce, Walkoff sees it and just chips it in. Ryan Leary doing everything he can to get in the way, but, Vito Sibilia trying to do everything to get in the way.
No, what I'm saying is the credit will go to, it was an own goal. The credit will go to Walkoff as the closest in there. And it's just tough for Pat McCarthy in the wrong place at the wrong time and just a tough deflection. And that puts the Owls in front.
Yeah, just a goofy play. Big bounce off the turf.
Long throw in. I think Carle Place hasn't been able to settle yet.
No, and John, that was a 30-yard throw-in. It's insane. You know, it's up in the air, but like you said, not managing to settle that ball down. Lynbrook winning those. Everybody knows the book's out as far as how Ryan's throws go, and a good job there by Lynbrook winning them.
Riley Mosheni is on, the sophomore, role player off the bench, and provides depth in the midfield. And the chip goes over everybody.
So down in the left-hand corner of the screen there, you can see one of the feeder programs to this Lynbrook High School program. It's the Lynbrook East Rockaway Soccer Club helping sponsor and making this game possible on Varsity Media today. So a thank you to Lynbrook East Rock Soccer Club for providing the athletes and the time on air today.
100%. As for more information, you can find them at lersc.gotsportsites.com. Here's Leary, open space, looking for a second. Leary puts it on net, and Prince pounces on top of it.
Try to settle down that bouncing ball. Looked like it might have got it off the top of his laces there, or maybe off the shin, and it's a roller. Covered up pretty quickly. Leary just couldn't settle it down.
We might have to wipe that camera screen. This is getting a little tough there to see, but you could just see the weather conditions. And
a big part of that is that wind, John.
Yeah. All ping-ponged around. And a goal kick. Up the field to Jarrah. Drops off, long kick, and on the short hop, Tyrone is there.
Tyrone with a high boot, and one again by Lynbrook in the air, but turned over quickly.
Down the field, Leary. Is he onside? Loose ball will go out of play, and Leary wants a call.
And he's going to get it. As you get another look here. Big boot downfield. Leary onside on the kick. That's what you want. He's making a big run here. The goalkeeper comes out, but clips his leg, and he'll get the call. It's a good, valiant effort there.
And so the PK for CP. Trying to tie it up. And Jason Pereira to take it.
This is what he's best at. Saw it in the playoffs last year. But he's up against a big keeper.
And Pereira puts it in. We're tied at 2.
Yeah, Pereira knew exactly what he wanted to do. He got Prince guessing wrong. But low shots kill goalies sometimes. And he's just got such a cool demeanor about him. He knew what he was doing the whole time. Prince dives to his left, sees it go to the right. And we're knotted up at 2.
Connor Reardon says he's the best overall soccer player on the team and one of those trusted players to take the PKs.
I don't want to say automatic, but a lot of his direct kicks, penalty kicks, I mean, he knows how to put it on the net. He's a sensational shooter. And I saw it last year in the playoffs live. Like, he's extremely talented young man.
Long ball, a tap, and Tyrone keeps it out.
Wow.
Looks like Gonzalez took that shot from distance.
An incredible shot there by Gonzalez. What do you say? I score goals. That's how you try to do it. But against Tyrone, making a really nice save there. Lynbrook taking the lead, keeps getting it erased, right? They went up 1-0, 2-1. And they were looking to get up by 1 again. But Ryan Leary's got something to say about it.
Shanks it, yeah.
Yeah, just off the outside of the laces there. Looked like he tripped up when he was trying to shoot. Let's take another look at that shot. Yeah, Yapan Gonzalez. Nifty little move to his left. Shoots with the left. And what a save. That was going in. Great save by Toronto. He kept it in front of him. Picked it up right away. It's like number 23, Aiden Michaels, now out on the fields for Lynbrook. Now the long ball sent down by that Carle Place defense.
And that's Michaels being tested early, the junior. Wearing number 23 in white.
So one of the things that these Frogs are impeccable at is really timing those offensive runs. If you look, their forwards are always onside on the kick and then get these jumps. So the long ball, certainly one that pays off for the Carle Place Frogs. Wind still howling out there. It's getting chilly. It's getting darker. The mist continues here at Soccer Day in Lynbrook.
And gets through everybody else and comes to throw in for Carle Place. Leary not taking this one.
Now Joey Aquista is going to leave it for, I believe, Evan Mahalakis. Nope. Leary's going to get it.
All right, maybe not.
They were just waiting for him to get down there.
I was hoping for a 40-yard throw, but it ended up getting down there anyway.
It did.
Pereira.
They lost 18-7.
To whom?
Elmont.
Is unexpected.
McCarthy now swept up the field.
Oh, well, I don't think they expected to lose.
McCarthy, 3 years on this varsity team. He's an all-county honorable mention player last year. And he was part of the defense on back-to-back Long Island championships.
Rolled through everybody. Lynbrook trying to make a play. Muschietti, not that time.
Just saying the words back-to-back Long Island championships tells you the pedigree of what he's got on the field and the composure, the ability to win, stay in games.
Right, and it doesn't, you know, you just throw the classifications out the window. Leary, good move. Cross towards the net. Prince parries out. Ball gets over Villegas. Carle Place able to possess. Pereira.
Good job getting that ball back after Villegas had that little slip there. And Villegas got a twin sister named Carolina. Plays for the girls team. So it is a family affair on the Carle Place team, right? Sisters, brothers, everybody's playing soccer together.
And the cool thing is, especially at the public schools, you'll see the same last names over and over again, and just, you know, families from the area, getting everybody involved, and, you know, just part of the culture and community feel, and also adds to the continuity as well.
Referee Thewell saying that time you jumped too early on the kick, and he's called offside.
So final 3:20 to play, first half.
Ball booted out of play, and
I know it might not seem it on the screen here, but just looking over, it got significantly darker over the last couple minutes as well.
it did. And that's what both coaches were saying at the beginning of the game. Like, they were concerned about, you know, the lights are here at the field, just not ready to roll. But a brand new facility here in Lynbrook, and they want to take advantage of it. Unfortunately, they didn't get the lights going at this stage of the game. Coach Berlin was hoping for it, but still waiting on some just technical issues.
No, but it is a beautiful facility. You're right. Just a hop, skip, and a jump away from the high school campus.
Which has no
2:20,
land.
first half. Leary, wide open. Leary, bingo. He's so tough, 1v1, and Ryan Leary puts Carle Place in front, his second goal of the half.
Yeah, Leary once again getting a jump on the defense, those long legs and speed, and we'll get a look here as it's that quick throw in, sent down the field, turn and touch Pereira, and Leary onside, gets through the two defenders. Once he's got space, good luck, and I love this. He sizes up like he's going to blast it, and then just a little chipper past the goalie. That's a smart way to score a goal. You don't know how many athletes, soccer players, want to just boot the thing and then put it through the field goal, even from that far away. But he did the right thing. Just give it a little touch.
Looked like Prince might have gotten a piece on it, but either way, not enough to stop Leary.
You saw Pereira's decision when he took the penalty kick. You just saw Leary's goal. These are kids that know how to score goals. Like, they're calm. They don't overkick the ball. They don't look to do too much. The old act like you've been there routine, and that's what they do. Just make a touch, hit the back of the net. So Lynbrook, for the first time, playing from behind. As the first half winds down, we're in the final minute. Herrera sends the ball up.
Lynbrook trying to find the equalizer. And the race against the clock. As Carle plays defense is tough defense to take a crack against. Well, Lynbrook has done so twice. Goals coming from Marco Pantano and Jacob Walkoff.
Yeah, we talked about Pantano. He's a two-time All-County player for this team.
Sent in Tyrone and plops on top of the ball.
He was also a 2023 Conference Defender of the Year, captain on the team 2 times, and Pantano can get involved in the offense. He's smart, tough.
Final 10 seconds. See if Lynbrook has one final shot. Pantano with 2 seconds, and that does it. Exciting first half. A 3-2 lead for Carle Place over Lynbrook. Second half coming up next on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Thank you for watching Varsity Media, the leaders in New York high school sports coverage.
We made a lot of really important medical decisions about our kids out here on these benches. Frankie and Anthony were due October 19th, 2019. And on July 30th of 2019, my water broke. So they arrived the night that we were turning 29 weeks. And they were brought right to the NICU. And by the next morning, they were both on ventilators. Their lungs were not fully developed. Our guys were 2 pounds, 14 ounces and 3 pounds, 1 ounce, which alone is really hard to even fathom. We had no idea how sick our kids were. We didn't understand because you don't know what's happening.
One night we got the call at 2 a.m. She's like, you gotta go. And I ran over there and it was, the doctor saying that basically they didn't breathe for a certain amount of time. My thinking was, what does that mean for their future? What does that mean for now? And
I mean, the biggest fear any parent has is that they wouldn't breathe. The social worker over there was wonderful and told us about the house, and Frank came over to see the house, and he came back to see me, and he said, don't worry, this is what we're doing, we're living there, it's gonna be our home. And I said, you have pictures? And he said, you don't even need pictures. When you walk in that house, you're gonna know it's where we belong. Your worries are left at the door, at least for a few minutes.
And then the second you walk in, it's like, boom, you walk into the playroom, or you walk into the Mets room, and you walk into that beautiful foyer that they have, and there's a giant plane where you watch movies, and it's like, it's gonna be all right. It's gonna be okay.
35 years ago, the 100th Ronald McDonald House in the world was born. What started out as a modest 18-bedroom facility serving the needs of families of seriously ill children has transformed into this robust organization serving several programs in the New York metro region. In 2005, we embarked on a journey, blossoming our 18-bedroom house into a 42-bedroom safe haven. As time went on, our donors, our volunteers, the entire community rallied to support our families and our organization. Home-cooked meals, a fully stocked pantry, pet therapy, transportation and hospitality programs all make a world of difference to families who are experiencing the worst of times in their lives, having a child in the hospital. In 2014, we opened our first Ronald McDonald Family Room program. It's located inside Stony Brook Children's Hospital, and it's just steps from the child's bedside. Ronald McDonald Family Rooms provide a safe space for parents to rest, recharge, grab a snack, or take a shower. And we quickly began to realize the need for our programs at Suffolk County's only children's hospital, Stony Brook Children's. We're proud to share that a second family room will be opening in early 2022. Our dream is to continue to expand our services in meaningful ways at Stony Brook for all of those families who need to call our house a home. Families like the Vigianos are going through this every single day all over the world, and we are blessed to be a part of making it just a little bit easier.
Everything was at our disposal here, and it was here because of people who volunteered their time or their funds or their goods. I don't think we could ever give back what we got, no matter how hard we try. Like for the rest of our lives, we can never give what we got.
Anything you could do to help this place is a wonderful thing, and it will give back millions of times over.
To think that a family wouldn't have the opportunity to be so close, I think hurts our hearts, because that drive in the car knowing you're moving away from your children is a feeling that I hope people never have to experience, because these houses should be next to every hospital.
Halftime here in Lynbrook. It is a 3-2 lead for Carle Place on the road. And, of course, you just saw. And halftime brought to you by the Ronald McDonald House. Ronald McDonald House Charities New York Metro provides essential services that remove barriers, strengthen families, and promote healing when children need health care. RMHC New York Metro provides support for families with sick or injured children through the operation of the Ronald McDonald House in New Hyde Park and 2 Ronald McDonald family rooms at the Stony Brook Children's Hospital. In all, RMHC New York Metro serves over 7,000 sick families every year by providing them with no-cost housing, meals, laundry, and 24/7 care in collaboration with our partnering hospitals, Cohen Children's Medical Center and Stony Brook Children's Hospital. For more information about RMHC New York Metro programs or on becoming a donor or volunteer, please visit rmhcnym.org.
And, John, what a beautiful job the Ronald McDonald House does. We saw that touching video with Anthony and Frankie Vigiano, their parents, Karen and Frank. Karen, again, 15-year social worker. Takes a special type of person to do that job, and then had to take some time to be with her children, her husband. Frank, also a PE teacher at the Hewlett School District, also was a coach. And what a great job the Ronald McDonald House has done, and what a great job Coach Berlin has done putting this together today. And we've got a guest with us, John.
Yes, we do. So we go from one amazing thing to another amazing person. That is Al Freeman, the big cheese over at Nassau boys soccer, state representative for Nassau County Soccer. And, Al, it's been a pretty fun first half so far.
I would describe it as competitive but restrained.
Yeah.
Both teams really want to win the game, but they also want to make sure they come out of this game healthy, because both teams have goals going forward. For Lynbrook, they want to make sure that they're in line to make a playoff run, because they're sniffing the outside of a playoff berth right now. And as you guys mentioned before, Carle Place has aspirations for a three-peat. And standing in their way is a couple of teams in B, most notably is Cold Spring Harbor, with whom they've split this year.
Well, and how about, we could start with Carle Place, too, obviously being a state representative for Nassau County. Just, how much does it bolster the community, especially places like Carle Place, Cold Spring Harbor, you mentioned, these little towns that can have teams that can make state runs and represent Nassau County?
Well, two things, John. First, Carle Place, when they won their championship back with Coach Foraker, the entire town, it seemed like, showed up at the state to cheer them to victory. That's how important it was. The principal was there. The superintendent was there. The stands were full of green-clad jerseys. It's a big deal. It's a big deal for the kids to make a state tournament and see the pageantry and see how important it is. It's something that they take with them forever.
And now you and I have been up to the States together. Last year we spent some time up in Middletown. Tell us about Foraker. He got a little love last year, right, Alan?
Alan Foraker, the former Carle Place coach, was installed as a member of the New York State Boys Soccer Hall of Fame. It was a great moment for the county, and it was an especially poignant moment for Coach Foraker.
And one of the best we've had in our business.
Absolutely, and he's still involved. Oh, yeah. He's still involved.
Well, second half beginning now. We'll see if we do play the full 35. Halftime was truncated to 5 minutes. And like we mentioned, the sun is supposed to set in 40 minutes from now, but it's been significantly darker. And, Al, while we got you in the booth, too, obviously being a state representative, but like what are things that people that are watching at home, maybe they want to get involved in the soccer community, might not have players or relatives playing, but might love the sport and want to grow it themselves? What can they do?
Well, one obvious thing is if you can run up and down a field and you want to get involved, become a referee, because there is a huge shortage of referees right across the board in all sports. And I can speak to soccer specifically. Over the last couple of years, we've lost about 1/3 of our workforce through retirement and other reasons.
No, and it's certainly out there. And I think the other thing, too, and Rob, you were talking about this last year, too, a huge champion about it, is you're not just going to be thrown to the fire if you're a referee. There's training in there as well, and there are steps to become an efficient referee. As Carle Place again, it's the hat trick. Ryan Leary. That's an easy call for a ref. A goal is third of the game, 4-2, Carle Place.
Now, why don't you talk us through it now that you're a varsity media guy? We're going to see that replay.
Well, Ryan's just he's a large person who knows how to use his body, and you guys mentioned it before. He doesn't try to ram the ball in the back of his net. He does what it takes to get the ball over the goal line into the back of the net. And in the last goal and in third goal scored, he used the side of his foot. He didn't try to use the instep, and he put the ball low and on the carpet into the corner.
Yeah, he's a sensational. His composure is great. He's slowly becoming like the Derek Jeter of Carle Place. Like, he's just calm, cool, gets the job done. Championship after championship, state player. Just absolutely incredible athlete.
Does he remind you of any player, maybe recently, or a player that you coached back in the day?
Recently, I think he's kind of a unique player with a unique skill set that you guys have made reference to. He's not just a guy who can throw the ball in. If you watched him today, it looks like you might have another goal there. If you watch him today, he is able on the dead run to bring the ball down, and that's a real skill. And many ball players can, on the dead run, collect the ball and then get off a reasonable shot. And he's been able to do that because he works really hard on it in the off season with his dad. They go out there several mornings a week, especially during the summer, and work skill work.
As a coach, it's got to break your heart to know that basketball is his first love for him. He'd be such a great soccer player at the next level.
He would be, but he's also got to follow his heart. I remember a superlative soccer player a number of years ago named Darius Burton, who's a legend on Long Island as a basketball coach, who elected to turn down, I believe, a scholarship to Duke, full ride as a soccer player, to play basketball at Hofstra. And I don't think he regrets the decision.
No, I'm sure he doesn't, Al. And, you're talking about the work that, Coach Leary does with his son in the summer. Coach Berlin also putting together a South Shore Summer League with that guy from Malvern, and some good thing. Coach Berlin doing a lot for the community.
Josh Berlin has a wellspring of energy, and not only did he put together today, but he was the chief architect behind the innovation of a summer league, which drew 8 teams from around the island. And from all that I heard and saw, it was a huge success.
Yeah, he's doing a lot of great things for us, right? The website, and Josh is such a great advocate of Nassau County soccer.
But, John, you asked me if I had a player that was analogous to Ryan, and his name was Ian Peach. He was a 6'3" guy who played in the Premier Division and came to us, and he was almost a freak of nature. He had that kind of skill for someone so big, and he went on to play and captain at Albany, and then he went to play professional soccer down in Australia.
That's an amazing story, and I'm curious as a coach. Those players have to be fun to coach, but at the same time, they want to get better. How do you deal with them day in, day out? And, what, I guess if you could impart any wisdom on coaches out there that have players that are like Ryan or players that could play at the next level, your advice that you would give to them?
Well, I think part of it is make sure they take ownership of not just what they're doing, but what their team is doing. Ryan is nothing if not a consummate team player. He's not out there for himself. He's out there for the team, and he's doing what he can to contribute. And he leads, as they say, by example. The Learys happen to run a basketball clinic in their backyard during the summer, and the 4 kids do the teaching. And Ryan is an absolute great teacher of the sport, basketball, and he invests himself in everything he does.
Yeah, he's a class act. I mean, they are, and 3 older sisters that are rock stars also. So they're pumping him out over there at that Leary house, athlete after athlete after athlete. So we got a foul call, and it's going to be a set piece for Lynbrook, and a good opportunity here to try to get one back on their way to try to even out the score.
Yeah, this is Devin Byrne, second-year player, the junior. 2 goals and an assist on the season. And comes all the way back out for a second touch towards the net. And Tyrone.
I think you saw in the first half that Coach Berlin, with his newly retooled formation, put his 3 strongest players in the middle and allowed them to do their work. And they were very successful in the first half, creating some great scoring opportunities.
And speaking of great players, Al, how about Marco Pantano?
Solid player.
Right.
Solid player, yeah. And I think Lynbrook is coming together. They've got a tough last stretch of the season where they have to win the games to kind of win or go home. But I think Coach Berlin's got the team ready, and they've bought in. So it should be an interesting finishing 2 weeks for them.
Yeah, he's on edge. He's ready to roll, though. And, folks, I know we've mentioned them a few times, but in the bottom corner of the screen, you're going to see that we have Haviland Kitchen and Bar just switched over to Ivy Rehab. Haviland Kitchen and Bar is one of our sponsors, and as far as they go, they're owned locally by Ron and Sherry Poland. And the Polands, also a connection to East Rockaway. Sherry Poland, the girls' varsity soccer coach at East Rockaway High School, who works with Karen Leary, who is married to Pat Leary, whose son is Ryan Leary. So a lot of East Rockaway connections here. Thanks to Haviland Kitchen, and I plan on going soon. Have you been to Al?
I have not, but my wife has, because she worked in East Rockaway over the last couple of years. So she's been there several times.
Yeah, my in-laws, I was saying earlier, my in-laws absolutely love the place, and I'm ashamed that I haven't gone yet.
No, located at 43 Main Street in East Rockaway. You're right. Good for food, drink, crafted, finest seasonal and regional ingredients as well.
Maybe we have our next board meeting there.
Oh, you're talking to me?
I don't carry the credit card.
Neither do I. Talk to Coach Leary.
Got it.
I thought you meant the varsity media.
Oh, no. I meant
thought you were talking to John there.
No, that's at some bowling alley somewhere.
That's...
At least that's where it was last year. Sometimes Dave and Buster's. It's a fun time, though.
Great time. John's quite the bowler.
Is that right?
Yeah, incredible.
If you're looking for consistent, right on the gutters.
That's good to know, John.
They bring the pins up.
So it is getting darker and darker here. We'll see if the
So that's what I was going to ask you as 2 coaches, and I know that it's at the discretion, but, like, do you want to get 40 full minutes in, or 45 full minutes in, 50 minutes?
The short answer is no.
Okay.
And especially not today. We've addressed the problem, John, because the fall season has declining light. And what we try to get the coaches to do is, if you know that the game is going to start late, or you've had a problem with the buses, and you meet with the other coach before the game and discuss maybe shortening the halves. You try to take less warm-up time, and you try to take less time at halftime. But ultimately, it comes down to the officials deciding when it's unsafe to play anymore.
And I do have to give credit to you and Coach Berlin, who look at the schedule and try to have the teams later in the season host that have lights.
It happened to me the other day. I showed up at a field to watch a game, and it turned out they had switched home and home because of the situation with lights, Rob. And, we encourage teams to do that so that they can get the games entirely in, especially games that are competitive down at the end of the year, John, which may result in playoff wins, playoff entry and stuff like that. And once the playoffs start, we start games earlier so that we don't run into light problems.
Of course.
So Sparcio Gomez taking the throw there. First time we've seen him in the game.
Yeah, he's new to the program. Two-sport athlete as well, plays basketball.
Well, one of the nice things about having a school the size of Carle Place is the athletes, you need them for more than one sport.
Mm-hmm.
So it's very likely that if a kid has athletic ability, he's going to show up in more than one season.
The coaches too, right? You got Coach Reardon over there coaching girls basketball and having a ton of playoff success.
Same idiom.
I'm always impressed with Connor, right? He's got all these accolades. He's always in the playoffs. He's never home. You're always in the playoffs. You're just like long seasons. And you could talk, again, the States, right? How long is that a coach is working?
Yeah, well, you're taking your wife out to dinner a whole lot extra.
You bet you are. So we'll see, too, if the coaches start to make that gentleman's agreement where they unload the benches a little bit right now. It is a 2-goal game. It's a non-league game. It's a charity day. And I think we're going to start seeing more and more substitutions happen.
Throw down the other way. Patrick McCarthy.
Yeah, you can see Giovanni Bello on the side looking to get in the game. Second-year varsity player. Game winner at Valley Stream South. He's one of the most improved players. He's looking to jump in the game now for Coach Berlin. And it looks like a few on the sideline for Coach Reardon.
But that shouldn't be lost in translation, Rob, because one of the things a coach like Coach Berlin or Coach Reardon is looking for is maybe some serviceability from a kid who hasn't got much time over the course of the season. Maybe in 5-7 minutes, a kid opens up the coach's eyes and he thinks, I can use this kid going down the stretch.
And as a coach, it's a good problem to have if you can deepen your team that way.
Absolutely, and sometimes you have to do it by necessity because of injuries early in the season. You got to find out who the next man up is. But in a game like this, John, you can use it to do some diagnostics.
And getting some of his youngsters in there now is Coach Reardon. But you said it, and those kids a lot of times get out there with a little chip on their shoulder. They got something to prove. So it is good stuff to see everybody try to get into these games.
Stride for stride. Down the far side. As that was, looked like Walkoff couldn't get there.
That wind howling out there, huh?
I thought you guys brought that for sound effect.
I'm starting to think I can hear. We can hear it through the headsets.
That's part of the whole experience here. You're right. We'll bring the special effects, the light. Well, if we brought the lighting, we'd get a full 70 minutes or 80 minutes.
Well, one of the things that I think the coaches talked to Randy Geyer about before the game is giving them a heads up, maybe 5 minutes before the end of the match, so that they know what they need to do. I saw a game last week, guys, where it was a game that had league importance, and the referee did exactly that. He gave the teams 5 minutes notice about when the game was going to end, and it was a very competitive game.
I was actually talking to the head coach of that game this morning. But it is important that they have these agreements beforehand, they honor them, and as long as everybody understands what they're getting into. And that's what's great about a lot of these officials. And you mentioned Randy, one of the best. Patricia, one of the best. They're going to handle the game well, and they're going to respect coaches' decisions, and they're going to hold everybody accountable.
Pantano goes down.
All ball there. Good job.
Now past Rodriguez, and now Nico Rodriguez has his pocket picked. Muschietti, takeaway, and goes out of play.
Muschietti, one of the guys off the bench that provides depth in that middle, trying to pick up varsity ball. He's just a sophomore, so like you said, Al, one of those guys, young, you want to get him out there, and Coach Berlin said he's one of the guys he looks for off of the bench to do some damage.
Yep. That's why the coaches aren't just standing there with their eyes glazed over. They've got something to think about every minute of every game. There's always something that they're trying to figure out and a way of getting other kids involved.
Yeah, it's like you're present in the game, but you're thinking about the next 3 years at the same time.
That's right.
To everyone, and now we wait for the free kick. And so and played up the far side. And all right, so we are obviously, monitoring if and when the game would end. But, if you're Lynbrook here, I know you're emptying the bench a little bit, got some of the super subs in there. But, what do you want to see out of the remaining time, however it is here? Because Carle Place still putting the pedal to the metal.
What you want to see is just what we've been saying, John, is that you want to see who wants to play. And by putting some new faces in there, for them, it's an important game. It's an important moment. They're on the field. Their parents are probably in the stands watching them. They want to do as well as they can and play as hard as they can, and the coach appreciates that. One of the reasons you have non-league games is to give time to some of those kids who may not see time in the regular league matches.
And those non-leagues built into our calendars, and coaches use them in different ways depending on how many they get. It's nice that Coach Berlin's using one in the middle of the year. A lot of times they're warm-ups going into the season, try to get a few in. And we were talking about it earlier, Al, the 6 practices before you can play that non-league game, and the idea that soccer might start earlier.
Well, that's kind of a decision that's above my pay grade. That's we've asked that we start the season at the same time as the rest of the state, but there's other forces that operate here in Nassau County, and so the discussion is held, every so often. But this year that wasn't an issue because everybody in the state started the same day for soccer, so we were on an equal footing with all the other teams in the rest of the state, and that gave us the same opportunity to build in non-league games and a richer schedule.
And, John, those non-league games important to all the coaches.
Of course. And you're right. Like Al put out there, you want to see what you're getting off your bench, bolster your team strength, and learn a little bit about yourself, too, and try different things,
Sure.
I'd imagine.
Yeah, you get different looks out there on set pieces. And speaking of which, Carle Place is going to get one right now. Pretty deep out there, but nonetheless a freebie.
They elected to go short there, Rob, and then I don't know what the Carle Place player was thinking once he got the ball into the area. I think he was kind of twisted up between taking a shot and playing the ball in further.
That was Tyler Jaden on the last one, and it looks like he's going to get pushed back a little bit here. And it's Garrett it's
Gavin Lima, the freshman. Lima with the left foot. Deep shot. And Prince behind the line. That was a close one. No call. See if we can take another look at that. Let's see one more time.
As long as the ball doesn't cross the goal line.
That's how you do it.
And give Prince props because he was alert. He was alert. And we're, as you said, John, we're seeing the game in the light, but that ball's coming on a darkened field, so you really have to be, zoned in.
Prince is subbed out. I don't know who the goalie is. Does it say?
Shoved out of, off to the side, doesn't go out. The wind really taking care of the ball.
So Jake Prince is out in the game, and we're going to try to find out who the keeper is. Right now we're in 0-0. We don't have it up on our roster. So it's Grayson Prestiani in net now. So Prestiani having the wherewithal to keep it out of the net on that play. Good job.
Lynbrook trying to create something. And goes into the Owls bench.
If you look at that camera angle, it looks like
yeah, it looks a lot lighter out there as
and no rain.
Garrett Reed shots blocked and goes out.
Another good scoring opportunity there for Lynbrook.
Yeah, Stradowski will take the corner for the Owls.
So these are those set pieces you were talking about earlier.
Stradowski, a couple bounces. Sent far side shot, just wide.
It might have been a misconnection there on that set piece because you were expecting someone in white to show up at the near post and no one did. So this is why you try these set pieces out and you go back into game film and say, guys, we missed on this one.
Yeah, just go back over the play and figure out who was supposed to be in that position. Stradowski is great at corner kicks. He's got a boot. So that definitely looked like it was a miscommunication on the corner.
And you cannot overstate the importance of set pieces, especially going into the playoffs, because oftentimes these set pieces are the difference between victory or defeat.
So Lynbrook showing a little bit more possession now in the game, starting to bring a little bit more of an offensive attack here, keeping Carle Place on their heels. But we've seen Carle Place transition the ball quickly out of the defensive zone with those long balls. Another thing they've been great at all day is staying onside on the kick. They are so disciplined.
We've had, what, one offside in the entire match?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, one. And by like a step.
No, it's just after you said that they were staying onside.
Yeah, that Ryan times it
He
perfectly.
was onside the entire match, and then Delwell calls one, and he was offside.
It's uncanny. It happens all the time. Wish it went the other way. We can predict everything that's going to happen in the good way. But they really do a great job. Coach Reedon's got this team really, they're just very well disciplined. The defense is a machine. They cover each other well. I've always been impressed with his defensive mind. Maybe it's being a basketball coach, how to move guys around.
Well, they have a lot of ways that they can come at you. But it's, as you said, Rob, it starts with defense.
And a lot of big game experience.
Well, having been at their last two Long Island championships, I could say last year they were clearly the more dominant team. But the year before, when they were playing Babylon out in Suffolk County, it was a defense that held together, and they managed to put in a couple of goals and win a game against a team that had the better of the play.
Well, and then how do they take a season-ending loss into the next year? They just go out and roll out and beat Manhasset 2-1. So,
and Manhasset is a quality club.
Yep.
But the other thing we have going for us, John, this year is the state has revamped the rotations, and this is the first year of those changes, and Nassau County is hosting regional finals in AAA, Single A, and B. The only one who's going to have to travel is the AA Long Island Championship winner. They're going to have to travel up to Section 1 or 9, I think. So the teams that win the Long Island Championship are going to be playing in Nassau County, and if they win there, they're going directly upstate.
And it's Farmingdale, Al?
That's Farmingdale.
Great
Farmingdale
facility.
College.
Yeah. It's final 10 minutes to play. I don't want to jinx anything, but it looks like we might get this game in.
Yeah,
You would have had a stoppage by now.
Well, part of the reason I think that you are standing on the precipice of maybe getting the game in is because we haven't had stoppages.
Right.
That the flow of the game is gone. There hasn't been, thankfully, any injury timeouts or anything that slows down the second half. So there's a glimmer of hope here, and that may be the only glimmer on the field that turns light.
Oh, you can't just tell the parents to turn their car lights on for the final 10 minutes. Kind of old school. Chip shot, gets out, and then Tyrone. The pop on top of it.
And there's that slick turf, right? He had it, took a little bounce, and just toppled on the ball right immediately thereafter. That's what you want to do. Get your body between the ball and the turf.
Solano trying to keep it alive. And it's Grayson Prestiani. Shifts it over to the far side.
Prestiani's showing some skill in this second half. Berlin with 2 goalies out there that can play.
Yeah, kept that goal out of the net and then navigated well on that last sequence.
And again, giving the second keeper an opportunity to get some field time getting toward the end of the season may pay dividends if they have an unfortunate problem toward the end and they need that second goalkeeper to step on the field.
Looks like Jacob Walkoff will come on for Giovanni Bello. And Lynbrook tried to get another sub in there, but I thought they tried to get another sub in there, but either way, here comes Lynbrook down the field and send it to their own keeper in Prestiani.
So 7.5 minutes remaining in the game, 4-2 in favor of the Carle Place Frogs right now. Both teams still battling on the field up against the weather conditions and the light conditions, but still playing out there.
One more sub for Carle Place. Luke Bednarski, first-year varsity player, a junior.
Rob, you mentioned when we were talking before the game about our association, and our association, the Boys Soccer Association, over the last couple of years has really come a long way. Going back about 10 years ago, there was only a couple of us doing most of the work of the association, but since then we've had a lot of coaches join in and again take ownership and have become part of our decision-making apparatus, and it's been wonderful to see the initiative taken by yourself and others to expand our reach.
How about that? A goal in the final 10 minutes coming from the side of the cage. Mike Werzinger makes it 4-3.
Yeah, on a tough angle there, Werzinger just finds enough to tap it in the net. And here's another look at it.
What do you see here, Al?
What I see is Werzinger showing some poise, looking for an opening, and when he doesn't get challenged, he was looking to pass the ball, but nobody challenged him, so he said, heck, I'm going to take the shot. And again, he kept it on the carpet low. He didn't try to overstrike it, and he found the corner of the net. A lot of poise there.
Yeah, it was a really nice job, and like you said, a good decision. I'll just do it myself. Oh, you were saying about the association. We also got a lot of young blood looking to get involved now, too, which is great. You got some young coaches that are stepping up, and good things happening in Nassau County.
And they're happening in directions that we didn't expect. When we had the podcast start a couple of years ago, that was the brainchild of Brian Donahue. And the sponsorship of these games. That was your doing, and the way that the exceptional senior game has developed is the emails going back and forth, the text going back and forth between like a dozen coaches on uniforms and procedures and stuff. It's great to see so many people avidly involved.
Now, I understand it's not called the exceptional senior game anymore.
That's what I heard as well.
Yeah, well.
What's it called?
How about that? We're tied.
And what a goal that was.
Right on cue. Edward Stradowski showing off the boot. We're tied at 4.
And honestly, that's the boot he's got.
Goal scored by number 11, Captain Eddie Stradowski, and the game is tied 4-4 with 5:17 left.
5:17 in regulation. Let's take a look at this beauty.
Pushes it out with that right foot, finds enough space to send the ball over the goalkeeper's head.
And, Rob, what he did is, obviously you could take that shot 10 times in a row and not make it, but what he did was that Sadowski tried to get the ball to the far post, and it picked off the corner.
Yeah, a really nice job there by Stradowski, and he's got, such great footwork skills. We've seen him take a few big shots there, and now we're knotted up at 4 with 5 minutes remaining in the game. So, like you said, the Lights didn't have any kind of role in ending this game, but maybe Lynbrook is going to have a role in ending this game on their terms if they continue to bring this pressure.
Well, Stradowski's still out there when there's been subs on both sides, and either way, an opportunity for Lynbrook to pick up a non-conference victory.
Well, I don't think Carle Place is looking to back off in their own end. They could come right down and score a goal on the other end. Mm-hmm. But Lynbrook seems to have the momentum right now. And it's good to see because Lynbrook down 4-2 coming down to the end of a game, light fading, they could just mail the rest of the game in, and they said, no thanks, we're going to continue to play.
Stradowski with that header there.
Still involved in the play. There was Joey Lazito there. Walkoff. DeMarco Pantano. And so a throw in now for Mike Wersinger and a couple substitutions. Pantano comes off.
Looks like Stradowski's coming off.
Axel Casares comes on, the senior. And so final 3 minutes in regulation. Lynbrook still with their foot on the gas.
Talking about gas, John, maybe the person who's shining the light with his headlights from the side and continuing to help light the field should get meal money or gas money on the way home.
Without a doubt.
Casares lost it and chipped up the field. Pushing and shoving there and trying to get positioning. Nick McNella from Lynbrook sends it up.
So speaking of money out, this is a charity game today, Ronald McDonald House, and they were selling food out there. The Filthy Pig had a car here, and they were donating some of their proceeds to the Ronald McDonald House. And as we conclude this game, we got to keep in mind this is a charity day here, not just a non-league game between two solid clubs, both on the girls' and boys' side, but for a really good cause.
Again, the work done by Coach Berlin and his staff and the community of Lynbrook to raise money for the Ronald McDonald House is laudable, and it would be laudable if it was just this year. But they have a game for charity every year, And that shows someone who has his act together, that he realizes that his position in the community as soccer coach is not just about training a soccer team, but being part of a community. But what we've seen in the game, you mentioned a minute ago, Rob, is we have two solid clubs. Lynbrook seems to be ready to make a playoff push, but we also see how Carle Place is a solid team. Of course, Ryan Leary, catches your eye, but they have a lot of solid players on this team, seasoned players who have been on the state Long Island championship team, please. And they seem to be poised and serious about making a run.
Yeah, it's what we've come to expect out of Connor Reardon's Frogs. And we're in the waning seconds of the game.
Yeah, just under 30 seconds to play, and see if Carle Place can put one in before time expires. Throw in. Towards the cage. Prestiani's there. And one more desperation boot. But a tale of two programs, one trying to bolster their playoff seeding, the other proving that they are one of the top teams in Class B, come out deadlocked 4-4 after 70 minutes of play. We got through it, which was great. Did not end due to the darkness. And, Rob, good display of soccer on both sides.
Yeah, really great job by both teams. Sportsmanship was at an all-time high, which is a really important part of our game. Just the discipline on both of these teams is a testament to their coaches. You've seen some stars, and we'll see if Carle Place continues their dominance in their conference and if Lynbrook can skirt on in there and grab a playoff spot.
Player of the game is, of course, Ryan Leary. He had a hat trick, a goal in the 11th, 31st, and 37th minute, and that's brought to you by Ivy Rehab. Live life to the fullest. Request an appointment now at ivyrehab.com or call any of our locations nearest to you. And, of course, that'll lead us to our play of the game, and let's take a look at the second goal for Ryan Leary coming in the 31st minute. And, boy, he was exceptional today. I know that we talked about how deep Carle Place is, but in a non-conference game like this, it was good to see Ryan Leary get it all going.
Yeah, like you said, Leary showing discipline, using his size to his advantage, and like Al Freeman said, more than a throw-in, and this is where you get a look at it. Just gets that leap, finds the touch, looks like he's going to blast it, takes his time, small touch pass to keeper Prince, and a beautiful goal there by Ryan.
And that play of the game brought to you by Showtime Soccer Training, as well as Power Drive Components, manufacturer of precision components. So that'll do it. A long day of soccer and a 4-4 draw between Carle Place and Lynbrook. So for our executive producer, Ben Turchin, technical director is Kevin Catalanato, Tony DeMasso and Larry Caritney battling the elements to give you the images. For my partner, Rob Anderson and Al Freeman, this is John Perez saying so long from Lynbrook. This has been a presentation of Nassau Boys Soccer on the Varsity Media Sports Network.